Hey, Mikey.
What is going on?
What is shaking, buddy?
Dude, I'm excited, man.
Man, today is a packed day.
My God.
We have some killer guests. I'm sure we'll have some more people pop in as the stream continues. You guys, some fun news, fun guests, fun day. Good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon, and aloha. Welcome back to another episode, live stream of the Unidentified Celebrity Review. Your home for credible news, reviews, and commentary on everything UAPs and UFOs. I am Luis Jimenez, your host, and my beautiful little co-host here beneath me. I don't know why I called you little. Sorry, Michael. Didn't mean anything by that.
Below
you. So below me, actually. So yeah, that is Michael Mataluni. Welcome, Michael.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Lou. I appreciate it, man.
Dude, the pleasure is always mine, man. I'm so stoked that you're part of this show in this world right now. So what do you say? Should we just get right into this, man?
I'm excited. Again, we've got some amazing guests, and I'm really excited to talk about the articles that dropped today. Tim McMillan kicked it off this morning with a tweet about a dark horse.
Dark horses, Storm, Lockheed Martin. From the New Yorker, the New York Post. Twitter's on fire. Let's get into it.
It's wild.
Oh God. And let's just, first of all, the Patreon, check out the Patreon, probably the best Patreon deal in the world. We'll talk about Discord later. Michael, I've got questions about it because I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, happy to share.
Great. Linktree is right below here. Also, I believe you guys can send super chats now. So if you want to throw a couple bucks in the super chat, go for it. We're now a monetized channel. Yeah. What?
If you have a question, that must be answered.
That's a
super
good
chat
way.
It.
That is a guaranteed way to get that question answered. By the way, oh my God. What?
First super
chat
ever.
FGRF 72.
It's a sticker.
I mean, dude. Super sticker, super chat, you're just super. Thank you. That is amazing. Look at that. I ask and you shall deliver. All right, let's stop.
I just wish it was like actually 99 pennies that you had to pick up off the floor. That would be, but I get it. It's okay. Get it. Can't do that.
Hey, you can't have everything you want, Michael.
What's going on with this background here?
Oh, dude, we've got J. Allen Hynek. That's a scene from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's his little cameo in the film.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. I just decided to change it up,
I like it.
That might change a lot. All right, so let's turn on the music. Let's get into this show. So who should we start with, Michael?
I believe we should start with the person who has the brilliance to dissect the articles from today like nobody's business. The journalistic wit, the charisma, the extraordinary Jazz Shaw.
Oh, welcome to the show, Mr. Jazz Shaw. How are you feeling today, sir?
Oh, I totally thought that was not me from the description of the intro, because I would have been like the last person to think that. But thank you. I'm glad to be here. Today was a big day in a number of ways. I think some positive, some not as positive. And but we have a really exciting guest that, Luis has lined up, and I think it plays into a story that is really important. This is a big weekend as we go into what UFO Jesus has described as, Miraculous May. as we go towards the UAPTF report. And I'm, I think there's some pluses, some minuses, but I'm happy about it. And I hope everybody comes and watches this, because we are, I think, at a pivotal moment. Wow.
Excellent.
Sorry.
All right, Jazz. Woo.
Wow.
Jazz, you almost gave away the whole show right there. We could literally end right now, and it would be good.
Thanks for coming, guys. All right. Let's all go hit the bar. All right.
But we still got guests. All right. So the next man up is always strongly opinionated, but the opinion's always appreciated. The very charismatic, the very, very loved Mr. Jeremy McGowan. What's up, Mr. McGowan?
Hey, you caught me with charismatic in the middle of a yawn. Totally unfair.
Perfect
Totally
intro
unfair.
to the show. How are you feeling today, sir?
I'm doing well. I have been outside in the Vegas heat all day working on my car.
Good for you.
I'm so
fun.
glad you guys can't smell me from here.
Ditto. All right, Michael. Should you introduce the lady that is coming up next?
The lady that is coming up next. I didn't see a lady backstage when we were backstage, so I'm going to have to assume that I know who this is, and I believe it's the intelligent, the dynamic, the genius behind paradigm shifts. Cristina Gomez.
Woo! Cristina
Hey,
Gomez.
Hey, everyone.
How you doing?
Good guess. That would have been really embarrassing if it wasn't, you know?
It would have been so embarrassing.
How could you imagine? Look at this. Share, smash, thumbs up, sub notification, join membership, buttons, and buy Luis's t-shirt, merch, and gear. I don't have any of that, but I like your enthusiasm.
When you get the hoodie, I want to buy one.
I think a hoodie will show for sure. For baby steps, Cristina. I don't even know what Discord is. We got to get to that first. So yes, Patreon is though something I definitely have, and super chats and stickers are always welcome. Thank you very much, Renee, for that shout out. Okay, so without further ado, the man's been waiting backstage for a while. This next dude that's coming up is an absolute legend in the UFO Twitter world and beyond. His pontifications are known around the world. Without further ado, hopefully we'll see this man a lot more in the future. The one and only Mr. Ryan Robbins, aka Post Disclosure World, aka UFO Jesus. Hello, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be a guest.
The pleasure's all ours. When we came into the live stream and you popped in, I've never seen Jazz Shaw light up more, with more elation than that in the short month that I've known him.
I have been one of the biggest fans of UFO Jesus that you could ever imagine forever, because I don't agree with him on everything, but the guy is so persuasive and so smart.
I don't think I'm deserving of that, but thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So the reason why I asked Ryan to come on the show today, you guys, as I'm sure everyone saw, Ryan posted a video today. And I swear to God, I haven't cackled this hard at one of his videos ever, because I've never seen him with the rosier cheeks. And he was so excited, and he threw this term out. Ryan, can you tell us the term?
Yeah, Miraculous May.
Miraculous May. I mean,
it is.
The excitement. So what I wanted to do, I've got some timestamps in this video, and we're gonna play them. And I just want to talk about them, man, because I laughed. Some of the things you said in this absolutely killed me. All right, I'm pulling up my screen.
I'm getting real excited because I haven't seen this yet, so I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
Okay. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna start off right from the beginning of the video, and let's see what UFO Jesus has to say to us. Oh, wait, you know what? Let me turn off some music first. See, this is why I need a producer, you guys.
This has got to be like I'd be surprised if Post Disclosure World UFO, aka UFO Jesus, wasn't a little bit embarrassed right now that he's gonna have to watch his own video while we all watch it with him.
Why don't we all watch it with him with the sound not being on?
All right, Jazz. Thank
Yes.
you for pointing out the production flaws. I truly appreciate it.
I mean, this has got to be Ryan's worst nightmare, really. Like this is
Really?
No.
I'm taking one for the team.
This is pure gold. This is pure gold. I mean, you guys, this is fun. All right, here we go.
Disclosure will heat up in the month of May, according to my research and calculations. I'm going to share with you as much as I can, because, quite frankly, I love you. Before I give you my intelligence.
Wait, why was that the funny part?
It was
funny.
I mean, it was beautiful fun. He's like, I'm giving you this information simply because I love you, and it absolutely. For me, I loved it. Ryan, why do you love the people so much right now?
I mean, you know, I'm going to be honest. I like to be quirky on my videos, and so I just wanted to say that because I thought it was ridiculous, and I think it's fun to say ridiculous stuff sometimes. I mean, you know, really, that's really what it comes down to. It entertains me. So, but,
dude,
yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. I swear, man, be more all this all the time. As far as I'm concerned, I loved it. So let's hit the next clip of this of this wonderful little moment here. And it comes around 6 minutes and 10 seconds into the video. Hopefully we don't get an ad. We're going to get an ad. All right, here we go. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Bear with me.
Just by the way, Ryan, you're not coming into NBC here.
I am filming this video on the evening of April 29th. If it is April 30th right now, and you are watching this, and you read the article that I am referencing, then this is for you. This is to whet my palate and to celebrate what comes in the month of May.
we must have the IPA.
It's going down. The interview that...
Wait, Michael, you talked over the best part.
Sorry. I saw an IPA and I was like, oh, that's my boy.
That's my boy.
Get ready, people. It's going down.
Get ready, people. It's going down. Love it. All right, so then we're going to the last part here, and the reason why we're going to talk about this is because there's a lot of excitement today, and so there's a reason why UFO Jesus is doing this, and not only is it funny, but he's right. There was some stuff that went down today. So here we go.
A greater level of clarity and access to reality that assesses objectively that some of these UFOs are simply completely and utterly unexplained. Andreas Freeman Stahl, April 18th. We are approaching the event horizon of UAP activism. It is on the verge of becoming self-sustaining. The coming 10 weeks will set a precedent for the rest of human history. Watch the next few weeks carefully. The Big Phone Home and UAP secrecy, UAP Act Now, UFO Twitter. Miraculous May, everybody. Miraculous May. I think we're in for something.
Okay, I swear that's it. I'm not going to embarrass you anymore. That was wonderful. That was amazing, dude. And I think this is why Jazz Shaw lit up when you came into the room. Because, okay, Ryan, after everything that's dropped today, and look, maybe specifically in this video, you weren't talking about the things that happened today, because as you pointed out, Andreas Freeman Stahl had wrote in the weeks to come as well. So that's also very interesting there. So were you excited about what's happened today, or were you excited about also what may be coming, or both?
All of the above. I mean, you know, we are getting news drops on a weekly basis, and we are every couple weeks, every week, we're getting people, whether current or ex-officials, talking about this issue in a serious, sober way. I mean, if people are not perceiving that we're making progress, then I don't know what substances they're taking.
Beautiful. Anybody have a response to that? Oh, wait, real quick. Let me point this out. We got a $5 super chat. What? All right. So it comes from Mav. How comprehensive was the New Yorker article? Big win for all perspectives today. Thank you for bringing the community together. Love from Canada. We're going to get to the New Yorker article in a second. Let's finish the questions with Ryan, and then and see if we get there, if he's got time. So did anybody else have a question or thought for Ryan?
I want to see Cristina ask Ryan about that, because one thing I really want to see, Cristina is doing so many rockin' interviews lately. I want to see Cristina interview Ryan. But Cristina, kick us off. Ask Ryan.
Oh, I don't have any prepped questions right now, but we'll save it. We'll save it.
Oh, dude, you're throwing me on.
Why don't we? I mean, I'm curious. I mean, that was a great question. Maeve asked, "How comprehensive was the New Yorker article?" Ryan, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't really finish it. It was a long article, but I thought it was great. I mean, the New Yorker is a well-established, respected publication, and they were giving credence to UFOs. And you know, the portion that everyone was getting excited about was where Harry Reid has been told for decades that Lockheed Martin, the aerospace corporation, has materials that that have been recovered, presumably UFOs, maybe of non-human intelligence. He attempted to get access to that, and you know, he was the former Senate Majority Leader, so this is not some nobody. I mean, he was extremely high up in the government, and the Department of Defense rejected his request. And that was the big piece of the article, and that was quite the revelation, I will say.
I've got a question on the semantics that are in the article, and I just want to look at a point of clarification here. Are we going to look at the article and take on face value that it was the DoD or the military that told Senator Reid, no, you can't have access to it? Or are we going to infer that this was actually Lockheed that told Senator Reid that he couldn't have access to it? It's got to be one or the other. And I know the article says the military, but are we accepting that it was the military that denied a senator access to a private company's holdings?
Great question. I really don't know. But the whispers of aerospace companies having materials retrieved have been going on forever. And I have a question for you all. This is I'm gonna flip the table here.
Yeah.
Do you think, and this is an important question, if something of this stature, of historical and scientific value, has actually been recovered and verified, do you think it's within the purview of any government or corporation to not tell the rest of humanity about it? Is that okay? Is that ethical? Or do you think that you can't just say, well, on account of national security, we can't tell you? I'd like to get you guys and gals contribution in that direction.
I have a quick thought, and this is a conversation Luis and I had yesterday. The government is not moral and ethical. That's not how they operate. That's not even a paradigm for them. It is about power and consolidation of power and ensuring they keep that power, and they keep as much peace as possible because they don't want violence to disrupt that power. So yeah, I mean, is it ethical? No. Is it obvious? Yes.
Anyone else?
Ethics don't exist inside of the vacuum of that power structure, though. So they can't be unethical at the same time that they're not being ethical, simply because it's not a consideration in their process. I'm with Michael. I fully believe that if there are materials, if there is recovered technology, if there's reverse engineered technology, not only do I want to know about it, but I think my neighbors should know about it. I think that this should be information that is not restricted from humanity in general. We are a really creative species, and there are things that the civilian sector can do with technology that the military sector hasn't even thought of. Yeah. So I want this released, but to Michael's point, they're not violating ethics because it's not. Yeah, they don't have any ethics to violate. Let's go.
One of my big concerns, and I'm not an expert on this or anything, but one of my big concerns is I've asked myself this question: to what extent, if an aerospace company actually has material like this, to what extent are they influencing the government? To what extent are they influencing people in the DoD? In the sense of influencing those that the very few people that know not to spill the beans, because corporations, what are they? They're there to make a profit. They're there to make money. Is everyone working at Lockheed Martin Skunk Works overwhelmingly patriotic and cares about the American people and cares about progress and cares about the scientific community and cares about the rights of what people know. So I've always wondered, like, to what extent is a corporation like Lockheed Martin influencing the way the U.S. government itself deals with this UFO subject?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, please,
Please,
Jess.
yes, please.
I really wanted Cristina to go first, but we went through a period about a year and a half ago where a number of journalists like Tim McMillan went and exposed a lot of stuff that people like me, who worked in both the military and the government side of the military industrial complex, already had large suspicions. It's that we lose a lot of information as civilians because the system is set up so that any work that goes on where the government works with a civilian contractor, Lockheed Martin, I could name some other names that are very popular in the ufology community, and I won't name right now, but if they're working with civilians, any documents that the civilians hold are not subject to FOIA requests. This is a method they have used. It's been proven over and over again that you can go request the information, and if it's government documents, you get it. Well, you're supposed to anyway. But anything that the government holds that is generated by somebody like Lockheed Martin, those aren't subject to FOIA requests. And that's how they hide all of this stuff. Right. So we don't get to find out about that. And just full disclosure, I've been a tech writer with a security clearance who worked for Lockheed Martin. And yes, the government contract system is very complex. You can go and you can make a FOIA request for anything that the government does, for any bill they're passing or any tax they levy. All these other things where there's research going on with private contractors, they have a very easy way to hide all of that. Because if they have hold of a document that, it's not a United States document, that's Lockheed's document. That's forensic Joe's document. That's not subject to a FOIA request, and that's how they hide a lot of this stuff. And they hide tons of stuff. Do I have any faith in the fact that, well, just in good faith, we're going to tell anybody who asks anything? No, I have zero faith about that. And I think that's one thing that UFO Jesus and I have in common. It's like, there is truth out there. What is the limit of the basic citizen's ability to access that truth? I think it is really restricted.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to answer Ryan's question. Cristina, did you have something to say? Because I want to open the floor for you if you do.
Please.
I don't have an opinion on the reach of Lockheed with special access restrictions, but from what I read, I interpreted it as Lockheed saying a big fat no to ATIP.
So you read it as Lockheed making the denial, not the DoD.
To my understanding, yes.
Okay. First, let me just address this. Creepy little book, a $25 donation. What the hell? Love the amazing content you've been pumping out. Keep up the great work. Keep fighting the good fight. Hey, the more stuff, I don't want to say, the more donations we get like this, the more I can do this show, the more I can invite all my friends here to come and talk about this, because this is interesting. So, Ryan, my take on your question is I don't think it's so much of an ethics thing. And McGowan and I have been talking about this a lot, more as it might be a process thing. Yeah. And what I mean by that is it's not so much that the government is afraid to release this information. I feel like it's common knowledge, and if it's not common knowledge, it's incredibly accepted, I think, by everyone, that the possibility is more than possible. And I think even if it was true, I think they already know that the masses would take it pretty well, I think. With that said, I think the thing they're really scared about is if they confirm the ending, the reality of the situation, they then have to show us the process as to how they came up with that conclusion. And that process is drenched in decades of learning
Secrecy.
how to spy and
Yeah.
learning how to be a secret operative government that is able to protect its citizens at the highest and sickest levels that are out there. And they don't want to reveal the process more than the result.
I have a question for everyone. That's a really good point. And I want to piggyback on that. And I want to table this question to everybody here, because this is what I didn't quite understand about that when you were talking about it, Lou, was that if they disclose, right, then they would immediately be bombarded by questions of, well, how do you know? What are the process? What are the sensors? Give us the data, da-da-da-da-da. Can't the government easily say, well, we're not going to give you that. It's state information. It's classified secrets, but just be happy we told you the truth.
I don't think that'll fly.
Yeah.
I just don't. Because you're going to have journalists knocking on the door. You think Jazz is going to take that?
Yeah, but all they have to do is say no comment. I mean, I don't understand what.
Well, there's a certain amount of classified information that you can always put together based on unclassified information. All information starts out pretty much as unclassified unless it's developed inside of a restricted area or inside of a classified area. So you can have 200 small little bits of disparate unclassified information, but when you put everything together and it paints the picture, that process flow, that's what becomes classified. And I've got a great example of exactly what Lou was talking about. Are you guys familiar with a ship? A seafaring ship called the Glomar Explorer.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that? Okay, Jazz, I'm sure you have. Okay, so for the rest of you guys, the Glomar Explorer was this ship that we created. The United States created it to go out and recover a sunken nuclear-powered Russian submarine. Now, this was back in the 1970s. Now, we know for a 100% fact that we built the ship. The CIA funded the ship. We know how the ship structure was built. We know that we recovered the Russian sub. We know that we went into the sub. We took pictures. We know that we took their warheads off of the sub, and we know that we gave the sub back to Russia. All of that is unclassified now, or declassified now. But you know what is still classified about that whole thing? It's the process by which the Glomar Explorer was enabled to be created, not the technology behind it, but how we transferred the money, how we were able to get the contractors to come together and build this thing, how we were able to get all this disparate technology and people and teams in place and be able to fund it from the CIA to build a ship capable of dropping something down and grabbing a submarine off the bottom of the ocean floor. The process is classified because we can still use that to funnel money to, companies, the Acme Hammer Company or to whomever. All of these things that we're still doing is what we did back in 1974, and that's why it's still classified.
But I don't understand how that doesn't confirm the point that because you said that is public knowledge, but the process is not public. So
Sure.
So you can have disclosure, so you can have your cake and eat it too. That's what I don't understand. Because if
you
the government
but here's my argument about that. I don't honestly think the government understands what it has to be able to disclose it.
That's what I think too.
Then you don't have to be specific. You can just say we discovered a piece of technology that surpasses anything we're aware of that's in any inventory of a military in the world, and it indicates that we're not alone. They don't have to be explicit in every little detail because they probably don't know. But I mean, if we were to learn that they've actually verified that they've recovered something that was not created by the hands of man, it's near impossible to justify that at all, because I think it's stymieing science in a very significant way. On the Lex Friedman podcast, he was interviewing Commander David Fravor, and they were having a great discussion. And Commander David Fravor is like, why don't they just declassify Roswell? It's over 70 years old. I mean, if you know anything about declassification, after a certain amount of years, things get declassified. And they were saying, like, imagine the expression on the faces of our greatest innovators like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Imagine the fire that would light underneath them to be cognizant of what is possible. So whoever has this material, they're basically stymieing science in a profound way, because there's a difference between speculating something's possible and knowing something's possible. And I perceive that if it was verified that this technology exists to the extent where institutions accepted it, because let's face it, everyone, disclosure happened. Okay, yeah, we believe it happened, right? But institutions, if you were to poll institutions, academia, science, engineers, I believe that the vast majority of them, if they were polled, would say, no, I do not believe that the U.S. government knows for a fact that we are not alone in the universe, or that they have sensor data or even materials proving that such advanced technology exists. So right now we are in the dark ages. We are in the dark ages because even though a lot of us do believe there's something to this, our institutions still reject it. And it's like the 4-minute mile. And I know Elizondo has used this example. This example is trite. It's been used a gazillion times, but it's a fair example. For the longest time, no one thought anyone could do a mile in 4 minutes. And then someone, I think was it Roger Bannister? I can't remember his name, but then someone did the mile in 4 minutes. And then guess what? Shortly after that, reams of other people started to do the mile in 4 minutes. And so it's very problematic that it's only a small amount of people who are completely read in on this subject, and they're determining for the entire globe of 7+ billion people what they should or should not know. That is utter. That is
bullshit.
Go ahead and say it, Ryan. Bullshit.
No, you're absolutely right.
Can I ask Ryan one quick question?
Well said, Ryan.
Killed it.
Just please, Ryan. We're just talking about submarines. If we wanted to have a whole separate show, I could tell you about the 2 nuclear submarines the United States has lost. I've done numerous papers on this, but we don't need to go into that. They lied about that for ages. We also know that they lied about giving drugs to our own soldiers, giving hallucinogenic drugs to them. We know they lied about the whole program where they were using black people to study the effects of syphilis by giving the Tuskegee syphilis experiment people, like pacifiers or whatever. Why at this point, Ryan, should we turn around and look at the reports coming out this month and go, oh, well, now you're being totally on the up and up?
We shouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's more pressure now than ever before. So even though there's people in government who don't want disclosure ever to happen, now the environment has shifted. Now we have people in Congress who have been given classified briefings with high fidelity information.
Right.
So even if there's these very stubborn people still in our government who wants the rest of the world to live in the dark while they can have their little cool club and know about this greater reality, they can want that all day long, but they can't really, it's not tenable for them to get away with it like they used to. And I think that the way everything is unfolding now, and people will call me naive and say, oh, you're naive. Well, we'll see. But I think at this point, disclosure is inevitability because our congressional committees have already been given classified briefings of longer videos, higher resolution videos. I can't verify whether it's a fact or not, but my understanding is that this has never happened before, or it's been very sparse.
The problem is we don't know if our politicians are being told the truth. Those classified briefings that they're being given, we're taking it on faith that the people with the knowledge are being honest with our elected officials. We
Good
don't
point,
know.
Jeremy.
Yeah, we don't know, but that's true. I mean, we don't know, but on the other hand, they were given classified briefings that they're not allowed to reveal what they were told. So. And beyond that, they weren't just given like video and radar data, but they were also they had witnesses testify before them. So you could say they're not being told the truth, but I mean they're being told the truth to some extent, and they're certainly getting higher fidelity information than we are. So maybe they're holding back to some extent, but I don't. I think it's goes. I think it's pretty clear they're giving information way better than we are. So they're not ignorant the way they've been ignorant for a long time, and I don't think that could be debated.
Well, our government.
I would say.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cristina.
Well, I was actually gonna talk about you, Jeremy. I think Jeremy nailed it. A lot of the process is now in the hands of the private corporation, and Lou Elizondo kind of confirmed that he feels that in the case also with most aspects of monitoring and surveillance of UAPs.
Which is the world I come from.
Right.
I work in that.
Yeah, there's truth to that, but still, I mean, our warships, the USS Nimitz carrier strike group. I mean, these are basically moving. These are basically a collection of sensors that are moving in our oceans. So when these carrier strike groups pick up these targets and it records it on all of the sensor data, they're still getting that. That's totally outside of the aerospace companies. That's the United States Navy. They're still getting extremely high fidelity data on these objects. And I think personally, I think that the Congress has been briefed on a lot of this very compelling material that we have not been able to look at.
The one thing that I'll say is that our government and any government in on this planet only functions when the citizenry of that government has faith in the competency of that system. Right. If the government comes out, or if any government comes out and says, holy crap, there is a force at work, we can't control it, we can't understand it, we don't know what it's doing here, we don't know what it can do, and we don't know what it has done, that can erode full faith in the competency of the government. And I don't think the government wants to create that issue in happening.
All right. Before anyone answers, real quick, I'm sorry. We just had another guest pop in, but I'm putting this up here just to remind us what we're talking about here: government lies. And this keeps coming back to this. This conversation always comes back to lack of trust, and the inability to be able to trust the information that comes out. And that's why I keep saying over and over and over again. And I think Marco Rubio sees a political opportunity to gain a lot of brownie points and a lot of trust, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Because if Marco Rubio is the first senator to beat every other congressman and senator to that punch, you're talking like possible presidential nomination type stuff. But real quick, let's bring in the gentleman, a legend. Half the legends are here, but this is a lot of fun. We got Ben from the UFO Garage stopping by, saying what's up. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. This is awesome.
Right?
How you guys doing?
What other UFO show out anywhere does anything close to this?
I'm gonna be right back. Okay, someone's knocking on the door.
Do it, Cristina.
You are the Michael Jordan of you and Michael are the Michael Jordan of roundtable discussions on UAP.
I love it. I love it.
So, like every morning, I'm like so excited. It's like Christmas. Hopping into that chat on Twitter, and then like, man, just hopping in whenever we want. This is fun. This is.
I want to add to your Marco Rubio comments.
Yeah, please do. Right.
Oh wait, I was the one knocking on Christina's door. Can you let me backstage for a second?
Jesus, God.
This is what I do,
everybody.
This is what I do, man. I must smell bad or something.
No, Ben. It's all good, dude. We'll wait for him to come back. It's all good. So, Ryan, you were saying.
Yeah, it strikes me as amazing. Marco Rubio, and look, I'm not going to get into anyone's politics. I know people get very sensitive about right wing, left wing. I stay out of it. But I want to give him a compliment, just as I give people, regardless of where their political viewpoints are. He has a ton of common sense, in my opinion, because it is, and I mean, especially for him, he's been given classified briefings, and so he would know better than even we would. But just looking in the public domain, it's common sense that there's probably something to this. And it's like, if you wanted to cement your place in history, just get a couple great talking points out there about UFOs, as he has done, and you're good as gold. It's amazing to me that more people are not doing that. Look at Tom Rogan. He's a journalist for the Washington Examiner. Very high level common sense, in my opinion. He has committed as much more than almost anybody in journalism that there is something to this. He has even stated in his own words that he's been willing to put his entire reputation on the line.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a ton of credit for that if this all ends up being what we think it's going to be. So people like Marco Rubio, Tom Rogan, whoever else that's in this public sphere that's being very vocal about that, to me, that's a good move, because you're probably going to be proven correct.
There's something else that's happening here that I wanted to touch on. Is one of the other reasons that, and Ryan, I'm with you. I want full transparency in this. I'm just very pragmatic in my feelings and my approach that I don't believe it's going to happen. But one of the reasons that I don't think that we're going to get full transparency in this is because over the past 70 years, our government has been intermixing our technology under the cover of UAP stories. Now, I'm not saying that what we're seeing out there are drones. I'm saying that the government uses what we see to cover their own butts. So for them to give us full transparency in what is actually going on necessitates that under full transparency, they're going to have to release a lot of our own stuff that we don't want released, because that's technology that we're still using on the battlefield.
I think they don't. I don't think we.
Go ahead. Ben.
I was going to say, I don't think they want to release their bank statements. Maybe some receipts that might not look good on paper to the public. I think one of your we got a comment that said follow the money. I mean, that could be a huge reason for the secrecy. Not just because they don't know what it is, or maybe they do know what it is, but the amount of money they spent on finding out what it is, or maybe, looking into different sciences.
It could reveal a bunch of black projects very similar to ATIP that maybe had a bigger receipt at the end of it that they don't want anyone to know about, because it reveals part of the process, right?
Well, it's like a CBS receipt, man. It's like you can make a receipt out of that.
There's a reason why we have $600 hammers and $1,200 toilet seats. Right. We don't pay $600 for a hammer. We pay $19.95 for the hammer, and the rest of that money goes to an off-books project.
Well, not to mention the amount of money the Pentagon just seems to lose in their budget. I mean, it's extraordinary. I do have some breaking news. I just spoke to my contact at Lockheed Martin, and it is in fact not being stormed. So just want to make sure everybody is up to date on that.
Yeah, just in case you had any loved ones at Lockheed Martin, everything is fine. So real quick before we continue the conversation, because somebody did ask about the New York Post. So before we do that, though, Ryan, we're kind of running about 45 minutes here. So how you doing on time, bud? You got to go somewhere?
I'll stay for the remainder of 15 minutes, so we make it a even 60 minutes.
I love it. UFO Jesus, give it us an
hour. I see what you did there.
Exactly. For the rumored 60 minutes.
Okay. Okay. I like your. Oh, look at that! UFO Jesus giving us lead-ins, baby. I love it. I love it. You're a natural, dude. I'm so happy you're here. I cannot even express to you. Thank you for being here, Ben. I was just shocked that you're here. I didn't think you were going to come in.
Dude, this is awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Dude,
this is awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be a blast. Okay, so someone was
asking... Jazz, you all right? Everything turned out good?
My sister is not aware that I actually work for a living and just feels like she can drop in whenever.
Jazz! Do you consider this work, Jazz?
This is my job, man. My job is to actually push this discussion forward.
Yeah,
that's why I'm such a huge fan of Ryan, you know, because he says things that on my network I would never be able to say. And I go and I watch every one of Ryan's videos, and I sit there, and we don't agree on everything on the small details, but I sit there and I watch Ryan, and I'm like, man, I wish I had the platform to say the things that Ryan is saying.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why he's one of the big ones, in this field. Everybody listens to him because even if you disagree with him, he's still making a point.
Hey, look, I don't always agree with myself, so I hope people are not agreeing with everything I say.
And you know what, Ryan? That's a wonderful statement, because I'm the same way. I like, this is a topic that you shouldn't be 100% sure on either way, because We just don't have all the answers to make a clear decision. And so that's why I love Jazz Shaw here, because that's his mission. You know, we don't pay Jazz to be here. This dude loves talking about the topic. We don't pay anybody to be here. I don't even get paid to be here.
Wait. I'm not getting paid?
No.
I think I thought we've all made like
you guys.
I thought we've all made like $7 each now, but with the you're dispersing that at the end of the show, right?
Yeah, that's how it works, Michael. That's how it works. Okay, so should we move on to, I guess let's go to the New York Post article, maybe? You guys want to move there?
Did we talk about the demonic thing that was mentioned in the article?
That's what we're going to talk about. Yeah. So let's pop it up. There we go.
Love that
So
background.
We're not going to do
Thanks,
the whole
dude.
problem with the New Yorker article, or are we doing
Yeah,
that
no,
later?
that's next. That's the next article we're going to be talking about. Yeah.
Because I got big problems with that. But
Okay, all right. So sounds like we're gonna have a McGowan and Shaw mouth off tonight. I like it. So I guess who wants to start first on the New York Post article, because there was some crazy stuff. Ben, you seemed excited. What do you got?
Man, I mean, it's such a fun topic to kind of correlate, because there's so many different ways you can connect religion and this phenomenon, and I want to figure it out probably more than anything. Like, man, what were these people talking about for thousands of years? I feel like there's just a lot of mystery behind it. And so the moment I saw the demonic presence, I as you read the article, you kind of understand where the guy's coming from. It sounds like the high-ranking official was more religious and just kind of brushed it off as, "Hey, man, don't you read the Bible? These things are demonic." But man, half of me wants to take a second and really think about how fast he concluded that. Maybe there's something more deep to it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'd like to know more about that as well. I've heard these rumors before, and I think it may have come from Lou Elizondo. I'm not certain who brought this out, but about the high-ranking officials in the government, because this is not the first time we've heard this. But the fact that we're hearing it again, I'm not sure if it's just being re-reported or if this is new information, but I'm very curious how legitimate that is. Like, I just have a very hard time seeing high-ranking military officials being as religious as these folks are saying there are. I almost wonder if this is a bit of subterfuge.
It's not.
It's
and I'll
not.
tell you, I've had 2 conversations face to face with Colonel Alexander, and I think we all know who Colonel John Alexander is. When I asked him the first time about this, he was absolutely 100% yes. Things get stonewalled because of religious proclivities within the Department of Defense. Not only that, but if you think about this, most of the people in social media these days are agnostic, if not just completely non-religious for the most part. Some of us may be spiritual or whatever, but most of us are tech-based, or we're, just decent human beings without having the spiritual aspect to it. You look at, I think it was Alabama, and if it's not Alabama, it's Mississippi or one of those states down there. They have a complete and total ban in public schools for practicing yoga for fear that it's going to spread Hinduism.
I think it's easy to underestimate the influence that religion can have on one's psychology, and especially I think it's easy to do that if you're not religious yourself, because you've never experienced before, so it becomes very outlandish to you. I'm not angry at the people doing that, because I can only assume they believe that's what they should do, but it's extremely misguided, and I think it compromises the national security of the United States. And even if it was demonic, let's say it was demons flying saucers, as ridiculous as that sounds. Okay, so what happens if the United States pulls back and stops studying this phenomenon? Well, guess what? The people in Russia and China are not going to be like, "Oh, it's demonic, we're not going to study it." They're going to study it all day long, day and night. And so if these people within the United States government who are so off put by it got their way, what happens 30 years from now if the Russians and the Chinese make major breakthroughs because they're willing to look at this and the American government's not, and now we're up shit's creek because they are so much further advanced than we are. So it is very troubling that this is probably real. But Nick Pope has talked about it too. He said he saw the same thing in the United Kingdom, that there were religious people who did not want the government looking into UFOs.
Ryan's correct
That's
again.
such a good point.
I realize I sound like a broken record, but just the one question I would put out for the audience.
And I just want to say I believe in God and I am spiritual and all that, but you got to study UFOs. You got to study UFOs.
If you believe in God, if you don't believe in God, that's great. I'm just saying, if you have a group of people that are willing to sit there and look at the UAP phenomenon and say, this could be demonic. This could be a series of malevolent spirits of some sort. Okay, well, fine. If that's your take, all right, that's it. If another group of people come along and go, well, this isn't necessarily little green men from another star system. It's not necessarily extraterrestrials. This could be people from an alternate dimension. This could be spirits from a parallel universe. I don't want to insult anybody's religion, but what's the difference between all of that? It's like either we're dealing with something that's strictly material from another star system, or you're dealing with something that's time travelers. Right. It's, people that are from an alternate dimension, or it's angels or demons. Do we know enough to sit there and go, well, your idea is stupid, but my time traveler idea is totally 100% legit, or in my case, dolphins. It's the dolphins, and you can go, well, it's not the dolphins, it's the demons. Well, I'm sorry, who sounds dumber at this point?
Well, to your point, I mean, that's such a...
love it. Goddamn, Jazz Shaw, you are a god, man.
It's hilarious that
and if I am, then I'm right, and you're all wrong, and we're all going home because it's aliens. Okay,
as funny as that is, and as funny as that sounds, the reality, I mean, that's exactly it. That's the whole point, is that throughout history, it's always been about the lens you filter reality with. And so if you're a religious person, then you're going to filter it with a religious lens. If you are an agnostic person, you're going to filter it with an agnostic or possibly scientific lens. If you're somebody who is a cult, then you're going to filter it with that lens. So it doesn't matter. It's all the same phenomenon, but each of us has a filter, and each group of people has a group filter, and we can be humans are very good at tricking ourselves and tricking each other when it comes to applying these filters.
But we're also tricking ourselves with that idea as well, because the phenomena doesn't have to be one singular thing. And in that respect, when I was talking to the Colonel Alexander, I asked him straight up, I was like, in your opinion, sir, do you think that the phenomena is a terrible thing? And this is a man who's very, very sharp, very quick. He has a response for everything right off the bat. He paused for a moment before he answered, and he did some serious contemplating before he gave me a response. And he said, in general, the phenomena is not terrible, but it has terrible aspects. So
sounds like a lot like humans.
It's
sounds a lot like humans. Sounds a lot like humans. Yeah, maybe,
maybe every life form is more similar than we want to think.
Yep. Well, I can tell you this about nature, Jazz Shaw, and it is in front of your face every millimeter of the day. It repeats itself, and it does it all the time. Just look at the patterns in nature. They're so constant. They're so repetitive. You can look at a pile of rocks and find the same pattern of rocks in that pile all over the pile. Nature repeats itself. It's that's what it is.
Yeah, it's like the Fibonacci sequence. You find it everywhere.
Which is why I don't think religious zealots should be scared of it. If anything, they should embrace it because it should get them closer to the grand design of these things.
But again, it's about the
that's the
filter.
control. It's
Right.
also the control. The church doesn't like it when we don't use them as the intermediary. If we have a direct
Right.
line to whatever it is that the church is got a monopoly on, then they don't have
They
power.
go away.
They don't have
They go
control.
away.
And the military and the government's the same exact way. If we lose
Yeah.
faith in the system collapses.
I love Jeremy's question. And can we ask Ryan one question on this? Because you are UFO Jesus, Ryan.
That's a good point.
Was there more than one Genesis? I mean, where do you sit on that?
Oh
It
man,
was
what a question!
Earth the only Genesis, or do you think there could be an infinite number of incidents of Genesis?
Ooh.
Woo.
Yeah, I think infinite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you really.
I'd agree with
took
that.
A long
And-
question,
and
gave
you
a
know what?
one-word answer, but thank you.
You know what?
You know.
I'll even call it back. I'll double down and say again, it repeats itself. Nature repeats itself. So if we're here, there could be a 12 versions of here now. And maybe those versions of here and now, something can navigate through them with ease. You know,
That's interesting. Yeah.
It makes sense. I don't know if that's the case, but that's why I love these conversations, man. You know, we can go there, but there's got to be logic to get there.
I love the phrase, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Right. Right.
That's cool.
Fair.
I haven't heard that one yet. That's awesome.
Yeah. Michael, you were going to say?
I was just saying, I know Ryan had to get out of here, but I mean, we'd love to keep him for like 3 days, but
I'm going to go. Thanks a lot for allowing me to participate in this conversation. I think Luis and Michael and Jeremy and Ben and Jazz you're all doing amazing jobs contributing to the conversation. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're just having the conversation, and we're going through an amazing historical process. And we are some of the few that are being so vocal about it. And I'm sure that will increase over time. But right now, we're in this at the early stages, I would argue. Anyways, thank you all, and I'll see myself out.
Yeah, well, before you go, Ryan, hold on. Before
Everybody
you go
and
wait,
sign
yeah,
up on
make sure.
Ryan's channel.
First of all, thank you for coming. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. The door is always open for you to come back anytime. You just hit me up and I'll send you the link. That's number one.
Thank you.
Number two, please tell everyone where they can find your pontifications. And then once you do, I've got one last question for you. So that way, when you do come back going forward, we know exactly what the title is. So go ahead.
Sure. So just go to YouTube and put in these 3 words, post-disclosure world, and you'll find me.
Yes.
And by the way, his link is in the description below. So I've also put that in there as well. And Ryan, for the clarity of, at least for me, and I'll go ahead and say this show, what is it that you prefer to be called? Do you have a stage name?
No.
Do you prefer Ryan? Do you prefer UFO Jesus? Do any of them bother you?
None of them bother me.
Do you have a preference?
I don't. You know something? I'll be perfectly honest. I really don't have a preference. Like if people enjoy calling me UFO Jesus, then like have at it. Or if you don't like UFO Jesus and you want to call me Ryan, then or Ryan Robbins, like you can call me whatever you want. I don't care. I mean, it's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do we have to be so uppity? It's just call me whatever you want. And let's have a good time, basically.
I think from here on out, officially on this show, and please, anybody, if they have any objections, it is the one and only UFO Jesus.
And what's your Twitter?
Oh, yes.
Twitter is post-disclosure.
Yes.
Great.
Follow Ryan. He always tweets every one of his videos, and I watch every one of them. I comment on every one of them, and I retweet as many of them as I can manage. And he does some of the best videos, and you can sit there and go, "Oh, well, this is crazy stuff," or "Yeah, I totally agree." The guy makes sense. So go ahead, watch his videos, and donate to him. He has a Patreon. He has the whole thing. Support this guy. He's been out there longer than I have, just doing yeoman's work. So support Ryan.
Yeah, and we
Thanks.
should. Hey, Luis, we should have Ryan back on to because his name is Post Disclosure World. So we need to have a conversation about exopolitics, which is politics post disclosure. I'm really curious what Ryan's thoughts are on that. So another time.
Great.
Ryan.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Anytime.
Thank you
Ryan.
all. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon. You guys, that was
He's
awesome.
amazing.
That was awesome.
It was
I
awesome.
loved having him on. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm
That's
glad
super
you
cool.
guys enjoy. Jazz Shaw is lit up like a Christmas tree right now.
I
The crush that he has on Ryan Robbins is just adorable.
There's going to be a
Really.
restraining order in the future, isn't there?
There might
There
be.
probably will be. Yes.
There might be. Ben, you were saying something. What's up?
Oh, I forgot. Oh, I was gonna comment on your martini glass. It's beautiful, man. It's just it's so delicate.
It's
but,
one of a
you know,
collection of, believe it or not, more than 60. But yeah, that's one of my standards. So
Nice. Jazz Shaw is not a person. He's a state of mind.
Oh yeah, I love that too.
oh
That's
God, I love that. I have to borrow that.
To borrow it, you
Oh.
can have it. Put
You
it on a
are
shirt.
it.
It's yours. You are it. So before we continue to the next article that we're going to be talking about, let's just remind everyone, everyone's links here, except for maybe Ben's. I don't know if I put yours in the chat or not, but everyone's link is in the description below. So if you like anyone's pontifications, anyone's thoughts, go check out all their stuff. Of course, Michael and I have our link trees. They're right beneath us. Check out Michael's Linktree. He's got an amazing channel. He talks a lot about tech and exopolitics on his channel, which is dope. And God, dude, we got to get on your channel. Do this on your channel eventually.
We are.
It's
We're gonna do
coming.
it soon. Very
You guys,
soon.
we're gonna be swapping this show from channel to channel, and we're gonna be sharing the love. So that's what this channel's all about, you guys. It's about bringing everyone together. And
Where
if
the
you want
party at?
more, if you want more, please prevent me from going back to working for Uber. I have a Patreon. Go to the Patreon, donate. You don't, and here's the best thing about my Patreon: you don't have to pay to see it. It's all public. No extra access for anybody. Michael, how much you pay for the Patreon?
$10 a month.
Do you get any extra access than the guy that pays nothing?
I do not.
Do not. It's pretty dope. And also go see if you got the guts. I'm praying for someone to have the guts. Seriously.
What is that?
Seriously.
Could you describe the guts thing? Because I was trying to like
It's an
play along
open
on Twitter.
invitation for Brandon Flugel to pull out his checkbook.
Yeah, please. Yes. It's the last tier in my Patreon. It is $500,000 a month. And if you've got the guts,
Okay,
pull the trigger.
Oh.
Pull the trigger. But
I thought
here's
that
the
was like
thing.
a Nickelodeon reference to like guts.
No. Anytime I say, "Do you have the guts?" It's usually linked very closely to a Patreon
Is it
link
500,000 once or per month?
per month.
That's it.
Oh,
Yep.
see, I was so close.
Yeah,
I can't do per month.
that's
All right.
fine. That's fine. Wait, just cook it. Not everyone's got the guts, Jazz. It's fine. So yeah, check it out. All right, so let's move on to our next thing, shall we, gentlemen? So, do we want to go to the New Yorker?
Yeah,
Do we
let's
wanna-
it.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
because
I
I'm
want
gonna
to hear
run out of time in
Jazz.
about 25 minutes. So
Okay.
let's do New
Let's
Yorker
do it.
next.
All right.
I've
so,
actually
I
I've
want
got
to
to
hear
head out,
Jazz
guys.
rip it apart.
yeah, Jeb Ben, we'll see you, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
Before you go, tell everybody where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, UFOGaragePodcast.com, and we're on YouTube. Just type in UFO Garage Podcast, and you'll find us.
Awesome, my
Ben.
dude.
Yeah,
We'll
thanks
see you
again,
soon.
guys.
Follow UFO Garage on Twitter.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks, Jazz. Appreciate
Jazz.
y'all.
I love it.
Awesome.
Later,
All right.
brother.
Later.
Peace.
This is feeling like Celebrity Squares. I want to like reach up and,
Mhm.
and grab people here.
Right? I wish I could reach up and hug all of you. Yeah. Okay, so Jazz, I mean, you were pretty amped about this article. You read through it as quickly as you can. You tried to absorb everything you could. So what's your takeaway? What's the hot take, I guess?
I got a few good leads on it earlier. I was talking to Tim McMillan about it before it came out, and I was sitting there and like hitting the refresh button, waiting for the New Yorker thing to come out. And yeah, it was a huge disappointment for me. I'm not saying this is for everybody. You might like it,
Mhm.
but they did two things that, and I work in this business, as you guys know. There's a capitalist approach, like you have to get the most clicks. We all know that. That's not a bad thing, and the amount of time people spend on a site also impacts, how much revenue you drive.
Mm-hmm.
And the New Yorker went and put out their podcast where you had to sit there and listen to it for an hour, which drives a lot of revenue, before they then turned around and put out the actual article, which was quite lengthy. And I'm going to be charitable and just say it's always nice to have another log on the fire. If you're somebody who reads the New Yorker and you never had any interest in UFOs or any of this could be a really good article. It gave a lot of information, and you could read that and go, wow, that's really amazing. I should look into that and find out more, and before that, you could listen to the podcast and go, wow, that's really incredible. For anybody who's been following any of us for any period of time, there was really nothing new in there.
Yeah.
There were a few quotes. Yes, there were a few quotes that were like supporting some other quotes we've seen in the past. But no, there was no hard data. There was nothing new. So it got built up. It got spread around in the UFO community, amongst ufologists, all the journalists who follow it. Like, wow, there's this big thing coming today, and I certainly found nothing wrong about any of it, but there was really nothing revelatory. So that's all I have to say. Go ahead.
I think the biggest part of the article for the New Yorker is not the fact that I can type in a URL over here and Google it and read the article. I think the biggest impact that it's going to have is when the print edition comes out on May 10th, because the demographic that's going to be able to pick this up and read it, that's my grandmother. Mm-hmm. That is my great aunt. That is people
Agreed.
That, this is the NPR crowd that listens to, car talk radio. They're not listening to Spaced Out or Coast to Coast or anything like that. I mean, they don't know anything about this. Right. So we need to look at this article as ufology, and I hate that term, but ufology 101 for the uninitiated, or ufology for dummies. And the fact that primer is in the New Yorker, this is going to be on every hotel lobby coffee table. It's going to be at the Capitol Grill. It's going to be sitting at the Capitol Hilton on the end of the bar. Mm-hmm. There is going to be so many people that see this, they pick it up, and even if they don't read the article, they're going to have the association of the New Yorker taking this seriously.
Right.
I agree with Kirby.
That's a wonderful point. Michael, did you have any points on it?
You're both exactly right. For the UFO crowd, it's disappointing. For the mainstream, this is groundbreaking because it gets it in front of people who might not ever have considered this as to be a possibility. So you're both absolutely right.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen some Easter eggs in it. And this is something
there's a couple.
Well,
I think the last paragraph is pretty good.
A little bit. Yeah, the last paragraph was interesting. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, it's not a video. It's not a picture or anything. It's not, it's not the thing everybody wants. But what I will say, just to double down on what you guys were saying, and I 1,000,000% agree with that. But what I will say to the UFO community, particularly, is that today was not for us.
No,
this was not for our community, period. No. Full stop. This was for our moms, our dads, our uncles, our nieces, our nephews, the politicians that are going to the Capitol Grill. They're the pundits, the influence makers. That's who these articles are for.
Yeah.
And you really, really, really just keep that in mind when you start hearing things are coming down the pipe. Just manage your expectations. Be careful how excited you get, because you don't want to be bummed out about it. And that would be my best suggestion is, and just statement is, this is not for us. This is part of the process that Lou Elizondo is talking about. I mean, to the T, this is that process. And for us, it's going to be a little frustrating, but if you can just chill out, relax, it's coming. You can see the political winds changing, just like UFO Jesus was saying.
Yeah, and mentally prepare yourself. Like when you see, once we go to mainstream interview with Lou Elizondo and a 60 Minutes, mentally prepare yourself. It is not going to do anything for you. It's not for you. It's for the masses, and chill out.
I honestly think that
Mike
that's going
is
to be
absolutely correct. And I will tell you, there's two things coming up. One of them is 60 Minutes. One of them is on another very major cable network I won't mention right now, that there are things in the works that are coming up. And I think it's going to be the same thing that Luis was saying. Most of it is going to be very disappointing for people that are waiting for, oh, here's the alien autopsy video you've been waiting for. You know, you're not going to get that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I'm going to take this a
coming
step
out
further.
in places. That's all I want to say, to agree with Mike, that, you know, it's not that you're going to get a bunch more. It's that a lot more people that used to go, oh, well, you're a wacko, are now going to be looking at sources they trust. And they're going to say, oh, wow, this is real?
Yeah.
Is that real? Not even saying it is, saying, is it? And that's all we really need is it?
Is it?
And that gets them in.
Well, I'm going to take this a step further, and I'm going to say that this is going to be the same thing that is going to happen with the UAPTF report. The report is not written for us.
Right.
And it's not going to contain the information that UFO Twitter is sitting on thumbtacks with countdown monitors going on. People are buying extra monitors to run a Python script to count down to the UAPTF report. It's not for us.
Well, yeah, well, I'll just also set the expectation too. It's gonna be delayed. I mean, it's been said over and over and over and over again. It's gonna be delayed for sure. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well,
no report.
In my mind, I think it definitely, there could be an interim report that's very unsatisfying.
Yes.
And it's like, give us another year or 6 months or a year.
And that's fine, because that's what we asked for.
And I was just watching somebody in the chat going, is there any BBC interest in this, Jazz? You know what? We have followers from the UK who follow this and support all of us so much. And go follow my Twitter later tonight, and I will show you some of those guys. And there are people in England, you know, in the UK. The BBC is working hard trying to do this too. They don't get as much attention as the Americans, which is a crime. I don't want to go on a tangent here, but follow me, go follow some of these guys. It's not just an American thing. This is an international thing. And there is a big UK movement on this. And please follow the people that are working on this in the UK.
Yeah.
I just want to get that off my chest.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys something that I've noticed. I've had 3 very prolific reporters outside of the United States, 1 in Australia and 2 in Great Britain, that have contacted me asking me to help consult with them. So when they run a story that they want me to come back into my memory banks and say, well, can this be explained by the drone type of aircraft that I am very intimately familiar with? And this is a good thing, because this is showing that the mainstream media in other countries, not only are they taking this seriously, but they're involving people who actually know about this topic, not only on the UFO side, but on the domestic tech side, because they're interested in the truth. They're not interested. Well, I'm not going to say they're not interested, but they seem to be going away from the click funnels and all of that sort of. They're actually getting into the journalism part of this.
Right.
Okay, I have to go, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't be sorry, Jazz. Thank you for being here. So. No. Tell her hello. Tell her thank you for sharing your time, and we'll see you next time.
Will you also
Thank you
ask
very
her?
much. And everybody out there, support these channels. Support all these guys. Don't worry about supporting me. I'm fine.
But
Take
please
care of
follow
these
Jazz.
guys.
Wait, Jazz. What's your Twitter again? What's your Twitter handle?
At Jazz Shaw. I'm
Jazz
Jazz
Shaw.
Shaw
And
everywhere.
it's below as well.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
Jazz, if you could tell your wife for moving forward, if she could please scream for you from the other room, it's
Every
just
time.
a joy for us.
Every time.
It's a joy.
Oh,
for
that's
us.
good. And also, when I get the dolphins out here to start screaming, because the dolphins are controlling the UAP. I will bring dolphins on, and we will have an interview.
Yes.
We need to have that scream.
So on that
We love you,
note,
Jazz.
thank you, Jazz.
Oh, there's
we love
the
you, buddy.
inevitable Jazz. Yes, thank you. Take care, guys.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Jazz. Oh man.
Man,
Good
dude, this
stuff.
has been an insane show, and we're still not done.
Don't
We're
we
still
have
not
the,
done. Like, we
don't
still
we
got a
have the-
ton of what?
Don't we have the McGowan mouth off?
We still got the McGowan mouth off. We still got the section of the article that people went nuts about. What I wanted to do real quick though is, if you guys don't mind, there was a couple of things. The last thing on the New Yorker, there was also a podcast that was connected to it. I listened to the podcast. I read the article, and Jazz hit on something. NPR was the first thing I thought of. It sounds exactly like a Sunday morning NPR telling a story with some music, and it's very well produced. And there's a narrator that speaks like this, and it's very
Yes.
calm, and it's very, this is the information. And it would be for anyone like us, I found it absolutely dreadfully boring. But for my mother, who might stumble upon it, man, that will blow her socks off, because it was a history lesson. I think what's going on here is the New Yorker, the New York Post, all of these news outlets are refreshing everybody what it is again, because something I think else is coming. So they're giving them refreshers, they're setting them up. I think the news will be significant, but whether or not the news will be coupled with data, because the last 3 videos we got out of the New York Times story, that was significant. But as we dive deeper into it, we find that the data is just not there yet. So, again, just managing expectations. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to say 2 things about this article. They kind of do throw a little shade at the UFO community at the very end here. And what I mean by that is, so they start talking about the pyramid UFOs in the videos, and they tied Jeremy or George Knapp along. I'll read it exactly. The mysteries have shown no signs of, albeit in early April, the eminent UFO journalist George Knapp, along with the documentary filmmaker Jeremy Kenyon Locklear Corbell, best known for his participation in an ill-begotten crusade, Storm Area 51. And it was like, I don't know why they threw that shade at him, because he didn't organize that. Like, he was just trying to help, like, it was weird. It was a weird little sort of knock on him. And then they go to talk about how his videos are confirmed real things, and then how Mick West quickly debunked it, if that's what you want to call it. It was just, I don't know. I didn't like that part of it. I felt it was sort of a jab at the community a little bit, an unwarranted jab. Like, there's no need to do that. So that was the first thing. But I wanted to read the last paragraph of the article, because there was a pretty wild statement in here. And so it says, the government may or may not care about the resolution of the UFO enigma, but in throwing up its hands and granting that there are things it simply cannot figure out, it has relaxed its grip on the taboo. For many, this has been a comfort. In March, I spoke with a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force who said that about a decade ago, during combat, he had an extended encounter with a UFO, one that registered on 2 of his plane's sensors. For all the usual reasons, he had never officially reported the sighting. But every once in a while, he'd bring a close friend into his confidence over a beer. And we hear this all the time. He did not want to be named. Why am I telling you this story, he asked. I guess I just want this data out there. Hopefully, this helps somebody somehow. The object he encountered was about 40 feet long, disobeyed the principles of aerodynamics as he understood them and looked exactly like a giant Tic Tac. When the Commander David Fravor story came out in the New York Times, all of my buddies had a jaw drop moment. Even my old boss called me up and said, I read about the Nimitz and I wanted to say, I'm sorry I called you an idiot. That's how this article ends. This is a 40-minute read to get to this last paragraph. That is an insane, like, this is why the UFO community got excited, because that is it. Again, there's no data, there's no pictures, there's no dates. We don't even have a name of this person, but we do know this is the New Yorker. We do know that quote is not probably accurate, right, from the person that it came from. So that is what you get excited about.
That's wild.
That's because that tells you the conversation's changing.
There's something else in that paragraph.
What do you got, McGowan?
There's something else in that paragraph that I don't think anybody is keying in on.
Please, McGowan, this is why we have you here.
You know the theory about people saying that the UAP manifests itself in a way that somebody can understand. And basically, until this article came out, everybody was under the impression that David Fravor was the first one to see a Tic Tac, and that it took on that form because Fravor, for whatever reason, was thinking of a Tic Tac or had that type of image in his head, and the Tic Tac manifested itself. This seems to disprove that theory, because this is years before the Nimitz encounter, and this thing is being called a Tic Tac.
That's interesting. I hadn't considered that. So you're saying that it discounts the manifestation argument because this had been seen before.
It discounts, to me, the individual manifestation argument. It does not discount the fact that UAP might take on forms that are generally known to humanity at large based on the time period that we're living in. But the general manifestation is
individual,
or the individual manifestation. To me, this article completely negates that.
By the way, guys, we're going to be taking calls at the end of the show. I forgot to mention that. We're going to be taking your calls. If you guys want to call in and have a face-to-face chat with us, get your camera ready, just set it up and lean it up against something. You could probably check in with your iPhone if you've got an iPhone. I'm going to throw the link in the live chat. You guys could call and come and ask us a question. We're probably going to do it in the last 15 minutes of the show because we got a couple more things to cover. McGowan, you got a mouth off coming, right?
I do.
Okay, and Michael, you're good for another half hour, right?
I'm good till I'm good till 9. I just had somebody in the chat earlier said, "How the heck do I get on this show?" And you just heard it. You just heard it. I'm gonna start giving you guys the opportunity. I tried this earlier in my live streams when nobody knew who I was, and I actually got a couple people to call in, which was mind-blowing. So I have a feeling we're going to have some folks calling in tonight. And so if you got a question, if you got a statement, you want to give us your 2 cents on any of these articles, man, go for it. And there's no better way to get camera time to see if you might be a recurring guest than to call in and ask a good question.
Exactly.
Damn good
You
statement.
just can't be better looking than the two guys above me. That's the rule.
Impossible.
That's
impossible.
That is accurate.
Ain't gonna happen.
We will ban you. We will ban you.
That's a definite way to get your ass.
You will get no special access. You will need to go contribute to Patreon, and then you will get additional special access.
And yeah, by the way, guys, share the show, man. Bring more people in here. I don't think any UFO show does what we're doing right now. We're moving so fast with the news. We're doing things, I think, a lot differently than a lot of other channels out there. There's many opinions. We share the love. Guys, hit the super chat. Tonight's the first night we ever done a super chat, and it has gone amazing. Amazing. I cannot love you guys enough. That was awesome. So let's get into the next tweet I wanted to put out. And and it was from Omnitalk Radio, and this is what set the Twitterverse on fire to a point where they wanted to storm Lockheed Martin.
Which again, I have a contact who told me that
right,
it has not been stormed.
Right. Yeah. So if you were worried about any family members at Lockheed Martin, don't sweat it. There's actually no storming at Area 51, and I'm sure the private security would be able to take care of any Naruto run that may head its way.
Do not storm. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Do not storm.
Lockheed Martin. Yeah.
Well,
do
the
not
problem
storm
is
Lockheed Martin.
You know, Lockheed Martin and Skunk Works, their headquarters is in Palmdale, California, and to get there, you've got to go past like 30 or 40 dispensaries, and people just lose interest by the time they actually get to the driveway.
McGowan's perspective, you gotta love it. So McGowan, this tweet, are you familiar with this? Because we were talking about the
What am I looking at?
Okay, hold on. This tweet right here. It's talking about the Keene and Blumenthal and how they first had to retract the statement of Keene. Do you want me to read all this so we can talk about it? I mean, we kind of hit on it earlier a little bit, and it was basically the materials that UFO Jesus was referring to, whether or not we have these materials, and you were talking about do those materials, well, how was it that you put it in other words, how they're perceived and how they were asked for by Senator Harry Reid?
Well, I was curious as to who denied Senator Reid. Because the article lays claim to the fact that Lockheed is in possession of potential materials from an off-world craft or a non-human intelligence craft. And apparently, I haven't read the paragraph, but apparently Harry Reid asked to see it, and he was denied. My question was the article accurate in saying that the DOD denied him, or was it accurate in saying that Lockheed denied him? Who told Harry Reid, no, you're not going to go see these?
Yeah, I mean, Cristina sounded like she said that probably came from Lockheed, right? I think that was her take.
Yeah, that was her take, and it would make sense if it is in possession of Lockheed, because, you know, Jazz kind of hit on what I'm going to rant about later is the whole FOIA process, but there is the system's broken.
Right.
It is definitively broken, and I'll get in on that in a little bit. But I would really like to know if who wrote that article in the New Yorker. Who?
Let me find out for you.
Gideon Lewis Krause.
Hold on.
I think that is
Gideon Lewis Krause. Yep.
Yes.
That's what's at the bottom of the article. Let me just make sure to check the top, because they usually have it up there too.
Right.
Yep, Gideon Lewis Krause.
All right. So Gideon, if you're listening, do me a favor, contact me right here on Twitter. I'm very, very curious to know exactly who Senator Reid asked for permission to see the materials. I'm very curious how Senator Reid knew that the materials were in Lockheed's possession. And I'm very curious as to who actually told him to bugger off.
That's a good question. I mean, it's a good question. So what would be your theory, McGowan? Do you think it was a private entity that told him to kick rocks, or do you think it was our own government sort of roadblocking him?
Okay. Can I just lead this into the rant? Because
should we just let McGowan mouth off?
All right, let's McGowan mouth off, but hold on. We need a disclaimer before we let McGowan mouth off. First of all, the McGowan mouth off is brought to you by the Unidentified Celebrity Review. None of the opinions or that are shared or expressed in the McGowan mouth off necessarily reflect the opinions of the channel. So with that said, Mr. Jeremy McGowan, the floor is yours.
Damn, I feel like I'm made out of uranium or something here. Oh God. All right. So the FOIA process that Jazz was talking about earlier, it is broken, and it is broken to the point where we are never going to get the answers, excuse me, that we're looking for ever, because of this process. One of the things that I think that Lewis, that you and Michael should do for next year's The Big Phone Home is not ask for disclosure or not try to involve the elected officials, our elected officials, in the disclosure process, but to reform the FOIA process. I want reform. Excuse me. I am choking on nothing. I want reform in FOIA because, in my personal opinion, if you are Lockheed or Northrop or Grumman or Boeing or JT4 or whomever, whatever defense contractor, and you are taking federal funds on an awarded contract, the government just gave you $110 million for 5 years to build the 6th generation fighter or whatever it is that you're working on. If you are taking my tax money, even if you're a private company, you should be subject to FOIA. And I think that our collective group, UFO Twitter, UAP Twitter, everybody that's getting involved in this, if we want to really advance this topic, if we really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, we need to get private companies as beholden to FOIA as the government is, because otherwise the government is simply going to give their stuff to Boeing or Lockheed and say, hey, you know, here's this really weird material. It happens to levitate when you hit it with a tuning fork. Go research it. And we know that the government had it. And now we ask for the government to show it to us. And the government's like, we don't have it. Well, who has it? Well, rumor has it that Lockheed has it. Well, then we're screwed because we can't get crap from them.
And that has been the McGowan Mouth Off. None of the opinions shared in the McGowan Mouth Off necessarily share the opinions reflected by this show. Thank you, Mr. Jeremy McGowan, for the McGowan Mouth Off, everybody. Yeah! I love how you got a soundboard now, Mikey. We got to start talking about some actual sounds now. If I didn't know you had that ability, great, awesome, okay.
Hit me.
So
you send me the sounds, bro. I'll cue them up.
Okay, here we got. Mav's got another comment. The Great Black Vault jumped through the hoops and got the official word, so we can point out inconsistencies. But yeah, FOIA is crap.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if we FOIA'd the government and FOIA'd Lockheed and they both had to respond? Can you imagine the disparity in the information that we're going to get from those two places? If FOIA, if private industry was beholden to FOIA,
you think? Wait, can I ask you?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think for the crew here. Do we think FOIA should have the ability to look into private industry like or at least request it and get it like the government works?
If you're taking federal funds,
I mean, so I'm not an expert in this whatsoever, but I would say, just from an entrepreneur's perspective, that yes, the fact that they're taking government funds would, I think, give the ability to the legislature to actually pass that. But it's going to have to be passed through the legislature to hold them accountable to that. But I don't see any reason why the legislature couldn't, based on the fact that they are taking federal funds. But at the same time, you know, I do have concerns about private industry, you know, being held accountable to FOIA. But again, Jeremy, I mean, that at the end of the day, if you're taking funds from the government, you should be held accountable to the government. I mean, that's the bottom line. But the question becomes, if they're using those materials in other ways now, and if those have become what are now patents owned by Lockheed Martin, and so that it becomes a very weird bunny trail of what came first, the chicken or the egg. I have to point out, Belleville, PA said here in the comments, 20 years ago I looked like UFO Jesus, now I look more like Michael. And that's very
oh man, well, I mean, I think that's a good transition.
Now I used to 20 years ago I looked like UFO Jesus as well, except for I had the dreadlocks instead of just the straight hair.
Oh my god! I gotta see those pictures. Explore Lab.
I'll share them.
Our friend Mr. Baptiste The unidentified celebrity review. Exactly. That's why I asked the questions. UFO crowd needs to ask simple questions before going down the rabbit hole.
And understand simple answers.
Yeah. Well, and man, the further I feel like I go down this rabbit hole, I feel like the simpler the answers start to become. What'd you say, Michael?
I was just pointing out Alicia had a very good point. If you're taking funds from the government, you're taking funds from the people, and and the people want answers. So that's fair.
No, that's a good point.
I'll tell you the other thing. As a company, like I came from the government defense contracting world, I know for a fact we can be audited by the government.
Mm-hmm.
The government can come in and look at us as a private company, and we're working on drones. They can turn over every single paper. They can look at everything that we're working on. We have to maintain constant audit readiness for this. If the government can audit us, then we should be able to be subject to FOIA, because they're paying. The government is paying Lockheed and JT4 and Wackenhut and Pinkerton and Boeing and Northrop. They're paying these companies to develop tech.
Well, I can tell you this, McGowan. First of all, that's a killer suggestion for one of the asks for next year's Big Phone Home. I think you hit the nail right on the head, because not only does it's a double-edged sword what you're asking to do right there. It not only takes care of the UAP issue very nicely, but it also reveals problems that we're having with our Medicare and Medicare systems, our healthcare systems, where we give these pharmaceutical companies government grants to develop medicines, and then they turn around and charge top dollar for those medicines to the American people after we gave them the money to develop it. It's I like that. I like that idea a lot.
Private companies taking federal funds should be subject to FOIA.
UFO Dad's catching up. He's in the chat. And by the way, Dad, people are donating money in the chat. Do you have the guts? You have the guts, Pop? Go for it. All right. So let's get on to our next thing. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was we got called out on Mystery Wire. George Knapp.
Yes, yesterday.
Okay.
Was it yesterday?
So April 29th. So yesterday, this dropped. And
wait, hold on real quick. Your dad doesn't. He says, "I don't see money on the chat."
Oh, Dad, it's like a $ somewhere where you could put super chat and you could donate up to whatever.
I think
go for it.
$100,000.
$100,000 about where we're averaging now. Yeah. Well, by the way, do you want to talk? Never mind. I think that would probably the NFT conversation we were having.
Oh, right. Well,
and how to fund the show.
Did you talk to Mr. X? Did Mr. X send you?
Different Mr. X.
So not Eclectic Method, not Johnny Wilson. So
yes, he did. He hit me up in the chat, and I said, you know what? Me and Mike need to sit down and have a conversation, because I think this is a great idea.
I think it is too, and we should sit down with Eclectic, Johnny Wilson, and have the conversation as well.
Yes.
Yes. And I actually don't know if we should talk about it right now, because I think it might be better for us to get some more insight, and then
just so you guys know,
definitely.
And neither one of you guys know, and nobody in UFO Twitter knows this either. I have been involved in 2 very prolific cryptocurrency projects since 2018. And if you guys need introductions to folks that are NFT experts or supply chain logistics, blockchain experts,
I think I threw a pretty damn good idea on how to fund this show, and we got to talk about it because we don't know the ins and outs of it. We know literally nothing about it. So, but we've got, I think we got some good friends that'll definitely point us in the right direction. Right. So that's good. And by the way, Pop, I'm looking at the channel right now. You know where you write in your message? Right underneath there, you'll see a smiley face and a $sign. Don't hit the smiley faces. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. All right. Okay.
Shameless.
So shameless. I mean, if you can't ask your dad for money, who are you gonna ask money? Jesus. All right. I need a new camera. Damn it. I need to pay Michael. I need to pay myself. I got to pay some bills doing this. Yeah. I mean, look how many guests we're bringing for y'all, man. We're taking calls here in 5 minutes. We're taking calls. Don't find that anywhere else on any other live stream, baby. All right. So let's get to the mystery wire clip, shall we?
Yes.
So oh man, should I just let it play and let it speak for itself? I think it's awesome. I love it.
How long is it?
Oh no, the whole video is an hour and 7 minutes.
No,
Which, by the way, it's just the first like minute. But the link for this video is in the description below. Let me make sure we got some volume. And yeah, here we go.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. I saw this panel. I was really looking forward to it on the Big Phone Home event last week, which I thought that's a cool event. Glad to see it. But I was really waiting to see this group get together. And then they spent 10 minutes talking about technical issues and some introductions, and that was it. And then you were gone. So I thought it might be worthwhile to reassemble most of the group and to get your take on some recent events that we've all been following very closely. In particular, we can start with.
So that was it. That was the shout out we got, and I thought it was a very nice one, man. I mean, right? And to be fair, the criticism was fair. We just had technical issues. I think it was Silva's. We're trying to figure out who's.
Oh shit! Holy cow! When did that happen?
Just now.
Holy shit!
Is
access.
Is that USD?
That is USD. Belleville, PA. I think he's French. Or no, South Africa. A little something from South Africa.
South Africa in the house.
All right. So, Lewis, when I show up in LA tomorrow, you're buying the beer.
Oh man. What?
I'll let it. Well, let's let him pay his internet bill first.
What?
Oh, and then UFO Dad right behind him.
Hitting it up, man. Oh my god.
But Belleville, what? Dude, that's so dope. That's so dope.
Dad,
all right, how did you? Belleville, how close are you to that uranium mine where the school kids saw the UFOs? If you're close there, we need to be talking.
Oh my god.
That's so dope.
Dude, 100
USD, baby. One Bitcoin.
What, no, it was 100 ZAR. It was 100 ZAR, right?
Hey, it's
no. I think it's his name. Oh, maybe it is 100 ZAR. I don't know what that.
I don't know.
Is
ZAR is? I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing super chat, so I have no idea what a ZAR is. If that's a type of currency, but it's 100, and that number impresses me. That number impresses me very much.
So let me just convert this for you. Hold on. Or should I? No, I shouldn't convert it. That's not nice.
Well, because if it converts, you might not buy one here tomorrow.
100 ZAR is USD $6.09 or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's right.
That's right.
But
$7. It's $7.
But still dope.
Calm down. Everybody's like, calm down, bro. Still, no, it's exciting. That was really exciting.
Damn it, I got to buy my own drinks tomorrow.
Yep, I'm not buying you a damn thing, McGowan. Oh my god! How awesome was that? Look at that! He's even laughing at us. Unbelievable.
Oh,
see, moments like that. Moments like that. That's what I love this damn show. I love this show.
I got tears coming out of my eyes.
Oh my god, dude! $7 is $7 is $7, man. I thank you, even if it is $7. It could be 50 cents, and I'd be stoked with it.
Honestly, that's better. That's so much better.
It's
like
better
for
than $100 because of the reaction to it, and then to find out it was $7. I mean, that's worth it. Like that's.
I've done a lot worse for $7.
That's good content.
So we need.
We got to get that on. We got to get. I got to go back and watch the show so that I can clip that out and put it on Twitter. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Brilliant. Okay, so what do we think? What do we think of George Knapp's shout out about the big phone home and our channel?
First of all, let me just say how dope it is that we were able to put together a panel that George Knapp wanted to replicate, right? So that's really freaking cool.
It's honestly, it's like it's a badge of honor if I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty
and
cool.
then I have to say, and then number 2 is I'm just really proud that we could be the people who let Danny Silva focus on his technology so that he didn't do the same thing when he showed up with George Knapp.
Silva's got it. He's got it figured out on this one. That's for sure.
He made sure his tech was good.
For sure. Damn, dude. Silva, your audio was money on this one. Man, dude, that was hard to find which mic was kooky. And we were live too, which dude, I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed because I was really looking forward to that panel because we called it when we put the panel together, we called it Murderer's Row. Like we were just so damn excited. But what happened is we had some tech issues. Nobody could hear anything because I don't want to blame this on Silva. I love Silva, but his mic was terrible and we couldn't hear anybody. So we kept coming in and out. At one point he was upside down, like it was a nightmare. And then by the time we got it figured out, we had 5 minutes left in the damn time slot, and we couldn't go. Like all of our time slots went long except for that one because we had Brandon Fugel right after us. And then we had Dave Foley right after him, and they wanted. It was the stipulation is they wanted to just be there by themselves, right. And we had to fit them both within the 15 minutes that we had or the half hour that we had. So yeah, I mean, I'm not making excuses. It's a good call out. I mean, next time we'll just cut Silva. We'll just cut Silva from the feed, so that way we can actually have a conversation. And by the way, Danny Silva's links are down below. He's a friend of the show. We love his work. He gave us some insane perspectives the other day. So
he's taking donations for new microphones.
Indeed, I hope so. I hope so.
Only in Czar. He's taking them
only
direct.
in Czar.
Only in Czar. Dude, I got so excited. So excited, man.
It was so worth it though. I'm gonna send you $93 because that was so fucking worth it.
Damn. That was, I mean, they're still talking about it in the chat, dude. I mean, Liz, you fooled them. Lewis is a dummy. No, I'm kidding. Oh, man. Damn, dude. I'm great. Damn. I mean, you got excited too. It wasn't just me, dude. Everybody in this room got excited.
Dude, he had me fooled, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Belvo even was like shocked. He's like, I thought it would be $10 at least. Damn the exchange rate. Oh my god, dude. Look, man.
Belleville, what's the highest denomination printed dollar money thing that you guys have down there? I mean, are you carrying around like a $1 million like $1 trillion bill or something down there?
That's a good question. Okay. So that's everything, man. I can't believe we actually got to talk about everything within an hour and almost 45 minutes. And so now we're going to leave the last few minutes here. Let me put on some tunes so we can hear some tunes while blew out everybody's ears. Sorry. Put on some tunes. We'll put the link in the chat below. Michael, please, tell everybody where they can find your stuff. And then Jeremy, you do the same. And I'm putting the StreamYard link in there so you guys can pop in. Let me put the rules for the StreamYard. Try to be on a Wi-Fi connection. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, you don't have to be on camera. Of course, we would love for you to be. I think it's better that way, but not a necessity. Rule number 3, don't be naked. If you're going to be naked, you won't even make the live stream. So I think those are the 3 rules. Other than that, you can ask us anything you want. Anything you want. Just click the StreamYard and you'll pop in our stream and we'll be able to talk to you. Michael, go for it.
I'm just so thrilled because Belleville, PA just followed me on Twitter. Belleville, I'm following you back right now, bro. That was my life. My life is so like follow me at Calamity Mike, but Bellevue's already followed me, so I don't need any more followers.
Jeremy.
Belleville, I'm jealous. It's right here, man. It's right here. If you're not following by the time I get this sentence out of my mouth, you're doing this wrong. All right, right there.
Yep. There you go. Well, and then, by the way, again, everybody's stuff is in the chat down below. I want to say while we're here, before people start popping in, if anyone pops in, we may not even get anybody, but just want to say thank you to everyone who appeared on the show. Unfortunately for Cristina, she had some unruly neighbors or something. She couldn't make it back in. I guess she didn't want to. She's a perfectionist. If there's other noise going on, she's not going to ruin the chat or the room just because she wants to be on the show. So you got to respect that.
Unlike Silva.
Like Silva.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Silva, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, I'm so down to have some more conversations.
Which I know you're not.
Dude, we got our first fan. His name's Thomas. He's sitting in a chair. He's not naked. Looks like his stream's working pretty good. So everybody in the unidentified celebrity review crowd, welcome Thomas.
Hey guys,
Thomas.
how's it going? Great to have me.
Well, good.
Appreciate it.
Oh, Thomas is a pro.
I
He's
got a background. He's got a mic.
Yeah.
I know this guy.
Uh-oh.
Awesome.
Well, Jeremy, you're the one I've got the question for.
Oh, God.
Go for
Yeah. It's about Colonel A. What's the most revealing thing he told you?
And here's the thing. I'll give a little tea on this one. Michael and I know the answer to that question.
Well,
we're not gonna say anything because this is McGowan's thing. McGowan, I'm gonna let you handle it. And we got another fan in the chat lined up for a question.
Cool.
Damn. Live. Okay, we're recording this from now on.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to present it as if it was live, and we're never doing this again. The most revealing thing.
Can I stop you for a second, McGowan?
Please, yes.
I just want to give you like 30 more seconds to really think about this.
Yeah, sounds like Michael, that is a very all right. Hold on a second, guys.
Wait.
Okay. All right. Hold on, dude. I can't get excited, okay? I can't get excited. Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. I can't get excited. Don't even
screen.
We're not the only country that uses a dollar sign. Keep that in mind.
Okay, Greg.com. Greg.com. Okay, I don't see anything that starts with a Z there.
No, that's $100.
He said USD, bro.
That is USD,
bro. Wow, is this show possible, dude?
You're making Greg.com just made this show. He let you not get a job for one more day.
For one more day.
One drive less.
You have one more day to not have to be an Uber driver.
Dude, Greg.com. It almost reminds me of that. Remember that billionaire Kim.com or something like that? He like the FCC and the government was looking for his ass for a long time. If you're that guy, go check out my Patreon, please, because I think you have the guts. I think you might have the guts. Okay. If you're that guy, you might have the guts. All right, dude. The chat is filling up, you guys.
Oh boy,
this is sweet. Okay, God, we got another donation from Timmy F. If Skinny Bob was real and he, is Skinny Bob real? And if he isn't, how did they do it? That's a great question. And I think I've got a pretty good answer for that, which I don't know if you're going to like, but we'll get to it. McGowan, have you decided if you're going to answer this question?
I am, but it's not the answer that you guys think I'm going to give.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Good. Because, by the way, we're trying to get that story told on this show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there's multiple reasons why why we appreciate.
So, Thomas, ring the bell. Ring the bell when you pop out of here, so you don't miss the Alexander interview, because that's gonna be awesome.
What do you mean I haven't rung the bell? Of course, I rang the bell. That was a while ago.
Awesome.
What you guys are worried that I'm going to vomit out right now? That is not coming out of my mouth. But I think that I can answer this honestly without saying that this isn't the most revealing thing that Colonel Alexander told me.
Ooh.
And in all honesty, I think the one major takeaway that Colonel Alexander told me that night was the fact that we don't know enough about the phenomenon to know which questions we should be asking. That what this is in its entirety is actually unknowable in our current state.
Ooh.
Interesting. And what state is that?
Our current
Besides
state of
Nevada.
evolution or development or mental cognitive processing, our dependence on five senses to interpret a three-dimensional world. Until we have surpassed the limitations that our biology has been put onto us, the Colonel does not believe that we are even capable of fully understanding what the phenomena actually
Yeah,
is.
but I think
So
that's
what
where
you're
abductions come into play, and they actually do stuff to you to raise your vibration and raise you to a level where you can't understand it.
It's, there's something to that, and I'm not going to get into it today, but I'll leave with this. The whole abduction thing, I have a very different take on it, because at one point in time during my life in the last 36 months, I woke up on my ceiling.
Wow.
Can you repeat that or explain it, please?
I swear to God, I woke up on my ceiling. My face was pressed in to my ceiling of my bedroom, and I could not get off my ceiling. It was like a hungover Spider-Man with, just being stuck on.
Interesting.
I was stuck on my ceiling.
Okay, the McGowan mouth off does not express the opinions and thoughts of this show. That has been another McGowan mouth off. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Holy cow!
No,
dude.
I've heard of dancing on the ceiling, but
Well,
That is wild.
I told Sean Cahill, I told Lou Elizondo, I had the exact same conversation with Colonel Alexander. I've discussed that event with a lot of people, and most of them have come back to me with a fairly similar explanation.
Whoa. Okay, man. Wow. Thomas, was that a good answer?
close enough. It's a start.
Okay. Wow. We didn't press Thomas. We didn't press Thomas with a ceiling into the face. What?
We always want
I can't
more.
I can't even imagine what on earth would impress Tom. Like that was.
Yeah. Jesus, dude. Damn. All right, Thomas. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
for
me.
coming aboard. Getting weird. Who's there with you? Thomas, say hello.
Hey, this is Luke.
Hey, Luke. What's happening? Thanks for watching the show, you guys.
Luke and Thomas, you guys rule.
You rule.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having the guts to call in. All right. We'll see you guys. Peace.
See ya. Thanks.
All right. So who do we got next
We're
here?
great people.
Rather?
Hey, yeah, thanks. Hey, Lewis, thanks for the big phone home. I've been following all you and your guests, since then. It's been amazing.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for consuming the show. Thank you for calling in and being so bubbly.
Yeah, kind of on the same notion of this being a completely unexplained phenomenon. Jeremy, I'm wondering kind of what your take on, do you think the government actually does know what these debris are? I kind of have a theory that, take Bob White's object, which is, a guy who said he saw something fall from the sky, found the object. Skeptics say that it just looks like industrial slag, right? Mm-hmm. And believers think that there's, some special capabilities of this object. Cristina Gomez on her show yesterday, she interviewed Glenn Greenwald of the Black Vault, and he had a document from Denmark in 1947 via his FOIA request that matches that object completely. Mm-hmm. So I guess my question is, it seems like this stuff, is falling from the sky. How convinced are you, or do you think that there is any evidence that there's any chance that we'd be able to make sense of these objects, or might it just be alien poop? Something that looks like industrial slag, but it's from these phenomenon.
Just don't put your ketchup and eat your French fries off of it. Remember that scene in Joe Dirt where he's got the frozen poop that came off the 747?
One of my
Yeah,
favorite.
you're tracking. Man, there is something there. We cannot deny the fact that there is something flying around in our skies that you and I do not know what it is. I do not know if the government fully understands what it is. And when I say the government, I don't mean just ours. I mean any government on this planet, because at the end of the day, these people are just like you and me. They just happen to be in different positions. Their cognitive processes are exactly the same. Their gray matter processes information the same way yours and mine do. If we're incapable of seeing into the 4th or the 12th or the 22nd dimension, whatever that might be, we may just simply be incapable of understanding what these materials can do. They might be doing things right under our eyes, and we don't have the ability to see it happening. That's a possibility. I do think that there are those within small groups of the government that have a better understanding, but I don't think anybody has all the answers.
What do you think, rather?
That's an interesting viewpoint. I appreciate the take. I'm gonna stick with alien poop until I'm proven otherwise. Thanks, guys.
Rather, you are. First of all, I love your name. The fact that I can just go rather. I mean, you honestly,
also,
that's that. Hold on, that's like a check mark for me. Maybe I want Rather back on the show because I love the name. You're starting real good. Your smile, your question. So far, I love everything about Rather. What were you gonna say, Mikey?
Well, I need to know more about Rather Be Squidding. Like, tell me more about this name. Like, what does that mean? Are you talking about like squidding, or is there something I'm missing here?
Yeah, it's a common question. It is squidding. Squidding, you do it at the docks of the ocean at night.
Yeah.
And shine big lights into the ocean, and it's a phenomenal experience. I think it's probably what the phenomenon are kind of feeling when they look down at us.
Where do you live?
The Puget Sound region, Pacific Northwest.
Oh, dope. I'm so coming squidding next time I'm in the Washington area.
I've never been up there.
I want to do that.
Well, Rather, man, thank you for calling in. Thank you for stopping by, getting weird with us here on the Unidentified Celebrity Review. The door is always open for you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
How are you, everyone? See you guys.
Oh, thank you again, sweetheart.
Can we get like a drum roll for Alien Girl, please? I feel like we need like
for sure. But
stop.
No, Amy, come on, we love you here. I think you're the best.
I love you guys too, but I don't need a drum roll. No,
you need the first time caller, long time listener sound is what you guys need.
What is that? I'm just gonna hit a random one.
Perfect.
That worked excellent,
perfect, dude. That's perfect. Okay. Listen, before we get to Alien Girl, what?
And thank you. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much for letting me be part of the magic. I've seen it all go down. I've loved your show since the beginning. Sorry, I live like trafficky area.
It's okay.
I love your show. You have it all together, 100%. And I saw it immediately. I was like, this guy knows what's up. This guy sees the next thing coming. No, I'm going to say it.
You're making a brown man blush.
And then you're like, come on my show. And I was like, okay, I'm new to this whole getting on a show thing. And so I got on your show and we had so much fun. And then I was super excited about the big phone home.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, the big phone home happened. And I woke up. I started with Lou. And I was sucked in, dude. And then you invited me to get on it too, right? And so I was like, okay, preparing, getting ready. And then 2 p.m. came along, and then I come in, and there's like a backstage to StreamYard, right?
Yeah.
And I come in, and you're talking to Jimmy Church.
Yeah.
And
it was crazy, right?
What's going on? And Cristina and Undead Gaucho were in the chat, and they're like, Richard Dolan's about to come on too. And then I get in this chat and I'm with Jimmy Church, you guys, and Richard Dolan. And I was like, whoa, this is so cool.
I think you ended up being in one of the hottest half hours there, Damie.
I know. I was like, this is so amazing what's happening before me. Because when you interviewed me on your show, I told you that this is the second political movement I have known about in all of UFO history. I said, this is the second time I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes that New Yorker article so relevant.
Right.
That New Yorker article laid everything out. It was like, whoa, this is the confirmation of conspiracy theories. But all of a sudden, a New Yorker journalist, author, or whatever, wrote this and like confirmed it. It was an insane article because a lot of this stuff was so crazy conspiracy to talk about before. And today I read it in the New Yorker.
How many of these stories do you think are going to be coming out now that the big phone home hit like 1.8 million views?
Yeah, and why hasn't that been covered in mainstream media? I've been Googling it every single day I wake up. Every day I wake up because I'm into my UFO news. I type in the big phone home, nothing shows up. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. This is gaining so much attention. This has such a huge wave. So I jumped on the chat and like, I'm a live chatter. Hey, hi, live chat anonymous. Hi. So, I jump on the live chats like all the time. So I jump in at the Lou Elizondo. Dude, like every UFO channel I know was in the chat.
Wow.
And that's
I didn't
a
even
lot.
notice it.
Like,
I didn't even notice it.
They were like I was like, oh my gosh, like, because it's so crazy. Because usually, people will like, I don't know, 4 or 5 shows. But if you're really into it, you'll watch like 20, 25 different UFO YouTube shows because you're just into it.
Right.
And then like, I just felt that day I got on and I was like, whoa, everyone's here.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then just talking to other chats with other people, they were like, I saw where you were at. I saw you with Richard Dolan. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened was epic. And I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me onto your show as a guest the first time. And thank you so much for letting me be part of this. It's very, I feel honored and humbled. So thank you.
The pleasure is all on this side, Amy. Honestly, we love your I love your channel because I love dancing while listening to UFO information. And if you've never done that, go to Amy's channel and go do that because it's a blast.
It's fun.
How do people get to her channel? What's the name of the channel?
Let us know, Amy. Tell everybody where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Alien Girl 111, all one word, and you can YouTube search it. Just YouTube search Alien Girl 111. There's a lot of logarithms and there's a lot of search issues. Okay, guys, so you need to type in all like no spaces Alien Girl 111 or it won't come up. So type in all no spaces Alien Girl 111.
Well, what I'll do is I'll go to YouTube now.
While he's doing that, Alien Girl, are there any spaces in the name when they type it in?
Nope. I'm finding it right now for you guys. I could not see your face. I could not see your face when you made that joke, so I wasn't. I just heard the tone, and it didn't sound like.
But I was deadpan. I was deadpan. You wouldn't have known had you seen my face.
I just put Amy's channel in the live chat.
I'm so glad you guys let me StreamYard in.
Oh
no! Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think I'm breaking up.
All right. Well, we'll see you later.
Funny. Well,
we'll see you soon, Amy. Good to see you.
Bye, Amy. Bye. We love you. Alien Girl. Look who's in the chat. Okay, listen. We have to answer this question because this person paid $13 twice, I think, to get the answer to this.
Twice?
So
They paid it twice?
I think they did. I was going to get to it. You didn't have to do that, but I wanted to make sure that you saw your question and that we weren't going to forget it or skip it. So what I did, but I wanted Dad, Jesus. Turn off your volume, Dad. Turn off the volume, UFO Dad. Jesus Christmas. Okay, so Jesus, man. Okay, so I've got a video of Skinny Bob. So just so everyone knows what we're talking about, let's see if Dad's ready. Dad? Dad, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on a minute.
Sure, Dad. We're only live. Well,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, Dad, we can hear you. Jesus.
Yeah. It's funny because
you're the best.
Yeah, what's funny, Dad? What's funny? You stopped in the middle of the sentence.
Okay. Yeah, I got a little bit of a delay here. Hold on.
Okay, Dad,
So
back
anyway,
out. Dad,
I wanted
back out.
to ask Jeremy about the camera.
Dad, back out and come back in.
What camera?
Yeah, he
Yeah, the
wants to
Space
ask
Hub
about
thing.
Sky
He's
Hub.
he's
Dad,
up
hold
to
on,
date.
hold on. Dad, I'm gonna hold on. Let me.
He said
kick
the
him out of
camera
room.
on my face hub.
On your face hub. So we'll get Dad back in here in a second. Before we get to the Sky Hub question, let's talk about Skinny Bob real quick. I don't want to miss this. So this is what everybody refers to as Skinny Bob. It's this film that apparently came out of Russia or something. It popped up online. Nobody knows where it came from. Nobody's ever claimed credit for it. You'll see for yourself. It's a pretty interesting video, but I'll give you my thoughts as soon as it's done playing. There's no sound to it. And I think it's 3 different videos put together. So here's the first one. And apparently this is real footage of an alien doing something.
I got to give it to the blinking was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I love the turtleneck. Like that makes my day for sure.
Definitely. Got to stay warm. It's cold in space. It's chilly.
Definitely chilly in space.
And
Well, he's
so
obviously a Steve Jobs fan.
And that's it. That's the video.
Wait, I want to see the turtleneck again. That made my day.
Oh, jeez. I don't know if I can get it to
It's
it.
okay. It's all right.
Yeah, it's on the sun. But anyway, okay. No, I want to get back to it because I wanted to point some things out on there. So just so we could talk about it while
Your
we're
poor
looking at
dad, like he doesn't know what's going on behind the
it. Yeah,
scenes.
he doesn't know. Dad, if you can hear me, come back in the chat. Do me a favor. Can you send UFO Dad the link to the chat so he can come back in here?
I thought he had the link. How did he get in here?
He does, but I just don't know if he knows to re-click it. That's the thing. Anyway, so let's talk about this. So here's my take on this, you guys. When I first saw it, I thought it was really cool. And this came out, God, I want to say, I'm trying to remember the year. Maybe it's got it doesn't have a date on it, but I want to say it was like mid 2000s. This video came out, like 2007, somewhere around there, late.
Okay.
2011, I think.
Okay, 2011. Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, like somewhere around there. So, first of all, I don't think it's real, and I'm going to give you my reasons why. Just speaking from I live in Los Angeles, California. I've seen a lot of special effects. So I know what to look for when I'm looking at something like this to see if it's CGI. Here's why I think it's CGI. First, Michael pointed out the turtleneck. If this is a real being that is wearing clothes, so we're assuming that they change out of these things,
or maybe they were maybe they were intercepted by the government and then they were cold.
Possibly.
How do you get that turtleneck over that big ass head?
That was going to be my point. How do you get the turtleneck over the head?
It's stretchy material, you guys.
That's a pretty big head. I mean, if it was if it wrapped around his head, this would be loose.
There could be a zipper on the back.
There could be a zipper on the back. That's a decent proposal. But here's why I think it's CGI. When you let this thing play, you see artifacts, especially right here on the edge of Skinny Bob. All of this, first of all, this is so easy to do. And I'll give you the motivation as to why somebody would do this. You create this, you throw it online, and it gets how many hits it gets, I can't even remember. And you put like a mysterious story behind it, and you pop this online, and it gets 3 or 4 million hits. Anytime you go to a job interview as a special effects guy, the thing you're gonna pop on that desk is a laptop. You're gonna open it up to this and say, "Click, I made that," and look how many people think it's real. And you're gonna get hired on the spot. This stuff happens all the time. I promise you. There are a lot of talented people, and also the CGI matches the time. A lot of people were doing CGI like this, and the thing that really, really, really sort of sells it is the filters they put on it. The dirty filters really help hide the degradation of the CGI. I know this is not what you want to hear. It might even piss you off, but that's my take on it. I think it's a great question. I'm glad you asked it to me because I think I get to give you my opinion, and maybe that'll hopefully give you a little bit more of a grounded place to start when it comes to Skinny Bob. In the professional opinion of someone who's worked with a lot of special effects people, I show them this, and they immediately, all of them have said CGI. Every single one of them.
But
so
it's so cute. He's so cute.
It's dude. First of all, it's cute, and
with his blinking and his giant eyeballs and his turtleneck. Like, I want to be friends with Skinny Bob. Like,
this CGI still holds up. That's how good it is.
Look at that blinking. That was so dope.
It's really good, but the blinking is honestly what I think gives it away the most. I think
I think it's the hands and the way when the way it's just kind of hanging there. It looks so Hobbit like. So.
I'll tell you what gives it away for me the most is the frame rate. They degraded the resolution,
right? But
the frame rate is still at probably.
You think it's 30 frames, 28 frames?
I think it's probably about 24.9. I think it's like cinematic frame rate on that. And when he blinks, you're not missing any of the movement. Even though there's static and the video's jumping a little bit, there is so much intensity on the blink. Like they wanted to make sure that was preserved.
Yeah.
Right. No, I agree, man. I think it's super cute.
I love Skinny Bob. He's so cute.
I mean, he is a little adorable. So did you send my dad the link, by the way?
Oh shit!
No, okay.
I got so enamored by Skinny Bob.
So I just resend it to him. Let's see if he pops back in there.
I gotta bounce here in a second.
You gotta bounce, yeah. All right.
As do I soon.
Okay, so my dad's question was about SkyHub. I don't know what his question is though because he's not here. I think it had to do with the technical, how hard it is technically to set up. Like, do you have to be very technically savvy to set up a SkyHub, or is this something you recommend that everybody try and do?
Anybody can do this. SkyHub, the organization skyhub.org. If you go to their website, they have not only the shopping list, but they have a step-by-step guide published there on exactly what plugs in where, how to. Mine is different because this was never designed as a mobile device. So don't look at what I've posted online and say, oh God, I can't do that, because mine doesn't look like what yours is going to look like.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, so real quick, I just want to address this, Renee. I think also the footage of the UFO film footage that accompanied Skinny Bob is also fake. And Alicia, same thing. I know there's also footage of him walking in a group or something like that. There's other clips to it. I think they're all CGI, every single one of them. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but that's how I feel. Again, just take it for what it's worth. I've been in this town for a long time, and I know that's how resumes get made. Like, if you could show up to a resume with a video with 3.5 million hits and then add like a mysteriousness to it, like nobody knows. I'm telling you, it happens all the time.
The other way to prove that it's not real is go to WikiLeaks and run the term through WikiLeaks, because if that's not in, when WikiLeaks published all the Podesta emails and all the UFO type of stuff and everything, if Skinny Bob is not mentioned in that, there you go.
Right. All right, Michael. Well, Michael, Jeremy, you guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out today. What a damn show. Oh, dude, we got $100 donation in the chat. We got no, we got a USD $100 donation and $100 ZAR and 13. But you guys, this has been my favorite show, and I feel like I say that every time.
Dude, I haven't cried laughing. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. So, Luis, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, dude. I am in awe at the support that you guys are throwing at this channel. I cannot thank you enough. But I know Michael's got to go. Jeremy's got to go. So, Jeremy, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming aboard, getting weird, giving us your McGowan mouth-offs, plural.
I'm going to be banging on your door tomorrow.
All right, my man. I'll see you. Mr. Michael Mataluni. Dude, congratulations. Good show. What a killer show, dude.
But it's nothing. It's nothing without the people in the chat.
It's nothing.
It's nothing without you guys.
I mean, you guys, this show does better than shows with twice my subscription rate.
Yeah.
You guys are you guys, I know eventually I'm not going to have to do Lyft anymore. This is going to be the full-time job, and I want it to be. I want to do these every day. Every day we could do a show. I'm not joking. There's so much content just on Twitter, just on the Twitter side of things, let alone all of these drops. I mean, we didn't even talk about, Michael, what all these articles dropping at the exact same time means. Like, why?
So much more.
We didn't even get into that, dude. So
much more.
Hopefully we get into it on the next episode.
We will.
Michael Mataluni, please tell everyone where they can find your stuff before you get out of here.
First, I want to thank Greg.com for giving Luis one more day
man,
of not working at Uber. Just thank you Greg.com for that.
Thank you, Greg.com. Dude, I'm telling you, man, you sound like the perfect candidate for this Patreon. You might have the guts, my man. You might have it. Or, worst case scenario, you can afford a legitimate bill. That's also a tier. So check it out. That is a tier.
Lou, I mean, just wonderful work on the show. Wonderful guests. I just love being here. And if you guys want to follow me, feel free at Calamity Mike on Twitter. I'm gonna go hang out with the wife and kids. I'm gonna go drink an IPA and enjoy my evening. And just know that you guys out there listening are what it's all about. And Lou, man, love you, man. This is so much fun. I'm literally haven't cried laughing like this in so long.
Man, I keep saying it over and over. We see the code, and I love this show. And I think it shows. I think the people see it. They recognize it, and they're sharing it. They're talking about it. They're supporting it financially, which I know in these times, that's huge, man. Someone's going to give you $1. That tells them how much they really love your stuff. So I cannot thank you enough. I know I joke about the Patreon. I know I have fun with it. I just want to give you guys as much content for as little as possible, especially if you cannot afford it. And I don't want to hide anything behind a paywall. I'll never hide anything behind a paywall on this channel as long as I could possibly do it. You do not have to pay for anything. So the fact that you do, I cannot express to you how much that means to me. The more we have stuff like that, the more we could do this show. I mean, if I could pay my bills doing this show, that means eventually I'm going to be able to pay Michael. He'll be full-time working here. And then we can start paying all the other people that contribute to the show. And we can build this community together and make some real substantial change, or at least have some damn questions answered. Worst case scenario.
And have some fun. My goodness.
Fun while we do it. Damn, man. Because, like, life's already droning enough. Why are we going to make this subject of all subjects droning and boring? It ain't no fun. It ain't no fun.
Hallelujah.
All right, my man. I'll see you soon, Michael.
Later, brother.
Later, dude. Thank you guys again. I feel the love. Seriously. I genuinely feel the love. I'm excited. Thank you guys so damn much. I cannot say it enough. I am so damn serious. I cannot believe the response we got today from you guys. So I'll be in and out. I'll be letting you guys listen to some tunes. If you have any more questions, throw them in the chat. And thank you so much. Before we go, I want to say thank you to the sponsor, BlueMarlinChronicles.com, purveyors of the world's finest fishing tackle since 1995, a.k.a. UFO Dad. Also want to say thank you to DOS Tapes. They provide all of the music that you hear on the show. Their SoundCloud link is in the description below. So it's not SoundCloud, excuse me. Their Bandcamp description. This thing right here is in the description below. Their Bandcamp link. So enjoy the tunes, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. And ring that bell so in case we go live tomorrow, you can be part of it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming aboard, getting weird on another episode of the Unidentified Celebrity Review. Peace.